3 money zones that determine your success. I made my first money at 7 years old, standing in the Soviet street market, freezing, selling clothes that my mom made by hand. And she called me her little horse helper. So last year I made multiple six figures working just 4 or 5 hours a day from my Manhattan home. And I'm the same person, but I'm living a completely different life. So what changed? Well, I figured something that no one taught me, not even in my 2 master's degrees, not at the United Nations, not in $250,000 that I invested in business mentoring. I figured out that where you are determines what you should do. And so most people, they're using the wrong strategy for their current situation. So they are trying to build an empire, then they should be surviving. Or they're playing small, then they should be scaling like crazy. So today, I'm going to show you exactly which of the 3 money zones you are in and what to do about it. I'm also going to share the practice that has generated hundreds of thousands of dollars for other women in my business network, and some of them have been able to do it in days. So how is it possible for them? Before I teach you anything, so I need you to know that who you're learning from, because I'm not someone who just figured this out easily. So picture this, Moscow, winter, 1984, I'm 7 years old, I'm standing at a street market with my mother. My fingers are numb, I can't feel my toes, there's a smell of diesel, there's snow everywhere. I'm selling the clothes that my mom made by hand, working at night. A woman walks by, she looks at us, she keeps walking. Another woman, same thing. And I remember thinking, why won't they stop? My mother squeezes my hand and then she whispers, smile. People buy from people who smile. So I was 7. That was my first sales lesson. And then by the age of 14, I changed 6 schools, 6 homes, friends that went and left. And then I was 11. My teachers told me and my mom that I was retarded. I could never study with normal kids. And so standing there and hearing that, you know, it's this kind of experiences where, and at that time I believed it, that there was something broken inside me. And then fast forward into my 30s. I'm sitting in this great cubicle at the United Nations at the headquarters in New York, fluorescent lights and mediocre coffee, this coldness from air conditioning. I'm dressed in this business casual, which is not my style. It's 2:40 p.m. on Tuesday, and I just remember I was watching the clock, waiting until it's going to turn 5 p.m. And I was wondering, is this my life? Is this it? And then a few months later, I was at the Tony Robbins event that seemed to be impossible for me, like even to take time off and pay for it, but I was there. And he did this exercise, you know, fast forwarding, like future pacing into 20 years later. And I saw myself sitting in the same cubicle, watching the clock, still wearing the clothes that I don't like at all. And I was miserable. I just was completely desperate. I didn't want that future. And in that moment, I realized that if I don't change something right now, this is going to be my life. And I refuse to continue like that. So then I left the United Nations and I started coaching. And then I failed. I've invested so much money. I failed at launches. And I had failures with my team, like multiple lessons. And I was wondering, I was questioning, maybe I'm not cut out for that. But then I kept going. And now I'm building a system. I've just changed my niches and I am able to do this. I know how to build online business. I know how to create value for people. And I've done it for over the last 10 years, building my own business. And now I'm helping other women create that freedom. So here's what I know with absolute certainty, is that what the teachers told me that little girl, that I wasn't broken, that I actually had the potential to become anything I wanted to be. And so I want to talk in this episode about the masks that we wear. So before we get into the money framework, I need to expose something. And so these are the lies that we tell ourselves, about money. And I'm going to call them masks, because that's what we are. We're just trying to hide behind what's really going on. And I'm going to share 4 masks. I want you to be brutally honest about which one you're actually wearing right now. So mask number 1 is that I don't work for money. So this is the mask of a good person, the helper, the giver, the one who says, oh, I do this for impact, not income. And I know this mask because I wore it. And when I was wearing this mask, you know what it looked like? It was me charging for a coaching session $50, then it should have been $500. Or, I would say, oh, I'll do this for free, just for exposure. I'll go give a speech. And, or sending out an invoice and feeling guilty, like as if I'm taking advantage of someone. So here's the truth behind this mask. It's not about being noble. It's about being afraid. Afraid that if you charge what you're worth, people won't pay you. Afraid that money makes you greedy. Afraid that you're actually not valuable enough. So, and the new belief is that I don't work for money. I work to receive money as fair exchange for the value that I create. So if that distinction feels subtle, it's not. It's everything. And then mask number 2, selling feels gross. Oh, this one. Let me tell you a story. So years ago, I was in the middle of a lunch and things were going pretty well. Sales were coming in. And then I got this one email that said, Paulina, your emails feel pushy. And you know what I did? I just stopped. I told my team, that's it. We're done. We're not going to send any more emails. I don't want anyone to feel pressured. So we didn't send another email about this. We didn't do that final push. We just stopped. And it probably left, tens of thousands of dollars on the table, because this one person who was just uncomfortable. And this person, by the way, she wasn't even going to buy. So here's the worst part. I actually felt relieved, not disappointed. I felt relieved because, well, deep down, I didn't want to sell. And selling felt like begging, like bothering people, like being that person. The truth behind this mask, it's not about ethics. It's about self-worth. If you really believed that what you have to offer, it could change someone's life, you wouldn't apologize for telling them about it. So you would feel obligated to tell them, like, let me tell you about my school. So new belief, selling is serving, and hiding your offer isn't ethical. It's just fear. And then mask number 3, I'm not expert enough. So I had coffee with a peer recently, and she is an incredible woman. She just changes lives of people, and her clients love her. And then she looked at me and she said, I doubt, like, sometimes if I'm really an expert, maybe I should just open a furniture store, a furniture store. What are we talking about? So, and I get it, because I've been there. I also looked at my accomplishments and 15 years of coaching, clients' results, and my brain still tells me, who am I to teach this? So here is what I've learned. Your imposter syndrome doesn't care about your resume. It will always find the reason why you're not ready, why you're not good enough, and why you have to wait to be enough. But there are people right now who are suffering and they need your help. So new belief, I'm valuable as a specialist and as a human being. So I will document my results and I will help people right now. Mask number 4, there are no clients for me. So this might shock you. About 25% of service providers, they do find clients for social media. That's 25%. Still, it's going to grow, but right now it's a quarter. 75%, it's existing connections. It's people you already know. It's referrals. So you have at least 10 potential clients within your arm's reach right now. Your former colleague who might mention that she wants to start her online business. Your friend who keeps asking you, what do you do? Like that AI thing, what do you do? The person you met at that last event you went to who gave you their card. They are there. You're just not reaching out. Why? Because reaching out feels vulnerable. What if they say no? What if it's going to be awkward? So here, your new belief is that potential clients are already all around me. And the question isn't whether they exist, it's whether I'm brave enough to start that conversation. So, which mask do you wear? Be honest. Because we can't move forward until you take it off, until you recognize that you have it. All right, so now let's get into the actual framework here, because everything that I'm about to share depends on, first of all, you understanding this one thing, is that your strategy for moving forward must match your zone. So there are 3 zones, and we're starting with the hardest one, the red zone, survival. So the red zone is when you need money right now, not next month, not when your lunch is ready, right now. So let me tell you what the red zone feels like, because I've been there more than once. It's 2 in the morning, you're staring at the ceiling, you can't sleep, your mind is racing from a math, you can't make the numbers work. Or it's standing in the grocery store and doing the math in your head, putting things back out of your grocery cart because you're not sure that your card will go through. It's that specific kind of shame where you can't tell anyone, not your family, not your friends, because, well, admitting that you're struggling financially, it feels like admitting that you failed as a person. So I have this memory, I've never shared it publicly. I was in my early 20s, living in Moscow, trying to make it in life. And I texted my boyfriend and I said, I'm really hungry. And he's like, well, go buy some groceries. And I said, I can't. I don't have the money. So, when I remember looking at that text and feeling so small, feeling so ashamed, feeling like, how did I get here? Like, what's wrong with me? How is this my life? And then something shifted. And then I stopped feeling sorry for myself, stopped feeling that self-pity. And I just got really angry. I got angry at my situation. And then I made a decision. And I want you also to write down. So in the red zone, you cut out everything that doesn't lead directly to money. You stop doing things that don't generate money. And it's not just like pretty advice. It's not about what some coaches might tell you on Instagram. Follow your passion. Have an abundant mindset, and then the money will flow. And the money will align with your purpose. So, you know who says that? People who already have money. They are not in the red zone. But when you are in the red zone, then you're in the survival mode, money is the priority. It's not shallow, it's not greedy, it's necessary, because you can't help anyone when you're drowning. You can't build a legacy when you can't pay for your rent or you can't buy groceries. You can't serve your purpose when you're worried about, am I going to have enough food on the table tonight? So here's what you sell if you're in the red zone. You do something for someone and then they pay you. Consultations, so you give advice and they pay you for your time. Mentoring, you guide someone, they pay you. Done for you work. You create something for them and they pay you. So notice the pattern. It's this short delivery time. It's immediate payment. And here's what you do not sell in the red zone. Digital courses that take 6 months to create. Apps, platforms that require developers and investment. Books that will take you a year to write and maybe another 2 years to sell and make money from it. Anything that requires massive investment up front. So you don't put anything in until you see money coming. And one more thing, if you're in the red zone right now, and you might be thinking, but who am I to help others? I'm struggling myself. Listen to me. Your red zone is someone else's green zone. The results you have, even if they feel small to you, they would be incredible for someone who's just starting on the path that you've been on for a while. So your struggle doesn't disqualify you. It qualifies you because you remember what it's like to be where they are and you are a few steps ahead. So if you're in the red zone, I see you. It's not shameful and it's not permanent. It's just where you are right now. And you're going to get out of this. All right, let's talk about the orange zone, the comfortable trap. So this orange zone. It's a tricky one because it's the most dangerous zone. And not because it's painful, right? The red zone is where it's really painful. It's not because it's risky, because green zone actually has more risk. The reason why it's dangerous is because you can stay in this zone forever. And I know what I'm talking about because I've been stuck here too. So you're paying your bills, you're not in crisis, you're making some money, maybe even good money, but you've hit a ceiling that you just cannot break through. And maybe every few months you think, maybe I should just, finally start this. Maybe I'm gonna launch the course. Maybe I'll raise my prices. Maybe, I should try this new platform. I should learn this AI tools. And then you don't, because it's okay, things are fine. And fine is the enemy of extraordinary. You can spend years in the orange zone. I was doing coaching one-on-one for so many years. I had my clients, I had predictable income. But then I would sit late at night looking at my laptop, like in this kind of protective, tense body posture. Like I was guarding something. And I worked a lot. I constantly worked. Same clients, same rates, same results, doing the same virtual shows, doing the same free consultations. And I thought, okay, I'm building stability, but it was actually stuck. I was going in circles. So here's what keeps people in the orange zone. Well, it's actually fear of losing what you have. So it's that, sure, I'm not thriving, but at least I'm not surviving. What if I try something new and then it doesn't work? What if I raise my prices and then I lose my clients? So you play it safe, and then safe becomes a prison. So the orange zone strategy, so think of this kind of as a dating, the period of dating. You're not ready to commit yet, that's okay, but you need to date other people. You need to try new things. You need to test new offers. You need to experiment with new positioning, new product. So, a concrete example. Date number one, you've been charging $100 an hour for one-on-one coaching. Well, try offering a $2,000 package instead and see what happens. Date number two, You've been working, with anyone who pays. That's what I used to do when I was Coach Paulina. Try niching down to just one type of clients. Like I started doing relationships. Date number 3, you've been doing all of the tech yourself or admin, hire someone, $500 a month, let them set up the systems, delegate. Date number 4, you've been creating your content but then not selling, run a webinar, pitch an offer, book a consultation, see who responds. The goal is to find something that you want to marry, right? The niche that lights you up, the product that feels like you, the kind of clients you want to work with, the positioning that you could be talking about for the next decade. So, warning signs. You've been in the orange zone for too long is when you've been doing the same thing for more than several years. And your income hasn't really changed significantly in the last couple of years. And then you keep saying, well, the next quarter or the next year, I'm going to do something different. But then again, you just feel fine, just fine. And here's the truth, is this orange zone, it will never kick you out. The red zone forces action, like you actually have to do something right now or you don't need. The green zone, that pulls you forward. And that growth is intoxicating. But the orange zone is just lets you stay comfortable. It lets you stay safe and stuck. So, if that is you, I have one question for you. How much longer are you willing to settle for fine? All right, let's dive into the green zone. Abundance. The green zone, this is where we're all working towards this. So, what it feels like to be in this zone. I remember this moment when, I've been doing launches, I've built my own programs, I've tested, I was failing, I was course correcting, and then I just woke up one morning and then I realized that something has shifted because my business was not a struggle anymore. It was a system. I knew what to do. I knew what worked. I knew how to create results that are predictable, they're not random. And here's what surprised me, is that the best part about being here, it's not the money. I mean, don't get me wrong, of course, money is amazing. But the best part, it's this feeling of alignment. Like I finally found where I belonged, like the pieces of the puzzles clicked together into one piece. So, in the green zone, you know exactly where you're going, the direction, the vision. And you work because you want to, not because you have to. You found your place in the world. You know your purpose. From that place, everything grows faster. Anything seems to be possible. So the green zone, if you're in here, it's to scale. You scale as fast as you can, as hard as you can, because that momentum is real. And then things are working, you just lean in. You don't slow down to just enjoy it. You actually enjoy it by scaling and growing, moving forward. So, focus obsessively on productivity. Focus on your reputation. Your reputation is everything now. Build real systems. Build operations. Because you can't scale chaos. So master automation. Use AI. Every task that you automate frees you to think bigger and to grow. Learn advanced strategies. Set up evergreen automated funnels so you can go further. Use AI. And of course, eliminate unnecessary time, wasted expenses, team members, watch where your money is flowing. And so here's some green zone dangers. It's complacency. If you feel like you've made it, you're so successful, why push harder? And this is where empires fail. But the truth is, market changes, new competitors emerge. What worked yesterday stops working today. So in the green zone, you're not just maintaining, you're building, you're growing, you're expanding, you're scaling. So keep it in mind. And then danger number 2 is forgetting the other zones, forgetting what it's like to be in the red zone and how hard it is to be in that survival and how hard it is to get out of that orange zone where so many people get stuck. You can lose touch with your audience. So don't. Stay connected to who you were. That's your superpower. And so one more truth. Some of you will hit this green zone and then cycle back. Last year, there's a lot of changes, a lot of crisis in businesses. Like, life happens, new things emerge. Like we're going through this AI revolution is going to change everything. And remember, if you go back, that's not a failure. It's just life. And it's a beautiful thing that you can navigate through them because you know the path. You've done it before. Listen, if you've gone through red, orange, and green, you know how to get back. You can go back to red, orange, and then green again. Okay, now let's get practical with all of this. Now you know the zones, you know what your zone is, you understand the strategy for each one. And let's talk about making money. How do you actually sell? So I want you to do something that might feel like resistance, might feel uncomfortable. I want you to write down 50 ways you can make money online. Not 5, not 10, 50. So the first 10 ideas will come to you, they're gonna be obvious. But the next 20, they're gonna require you to think harder, get more creative. And then, of course, the last 20, that's where real magic happens. That is where you actually start seeing possibilities. You start thinking beyond just one pixel, seeing one pixel of life, you start seeing multiple. You start seeing possibilities. And I want you to come up with, from your brainstorming, in categories. Category 1, what people are already asking you to help with. So think about the last 10 times that someone said, you are so good at this. Or can you help me with this? Those are your cues. And then category 2, what have you figured out that others struggle with or they don't know how to do it? Maybe it's something so obvious for you, but it's only obvious for you because you did the hard work, you learned it. For me, it's now I'm learning AI. And then category 3, what would people pay you, right? What people paid you in the past if you already charged? What have you ever been paid for any service? Think about that. And what do you do for free that you can actually charge for? So look at your calendar, look at your tasks, look at where you put your time, where you're already giving advice, where you're already helping, supporting people, and you're not getting paid. And then category number 5, what could you teach professionals in your field? So sometimes best clients could be not like consumers, but it could be other professionals who actually want to learn what you already know. For example, I know a lot of relationship coaches, dating coaches, and I can teach them AI, I can teach them launches, I can teach them how to become producers and scale. So it could be right now. And so what you can do is that you can test it. You can do a workshop. A pastry artist created a course, how to decorate gingerbread houses. And she made almost $30,000. Not decorating penthouses, gingerbread houses. You can, if you travel the world and you understand cross-cultural communication, you could create a course or provide consulting service for how to travel a specific country and navigate successfully, like communication, conflict, situation, anything, like anticipate problems and solve them before they emerge. People will pay for it. People will pay for solutions to their problems. So, and here's what I want you to understand. So something that sounds weird, like, oh, it's a weird thing, for some, it can be your gold mine. So if you think, oh, no one cares about it, there are thousands of people right now searching for exactly that. And you just have to be willing to put it out there, to own it. So, and Some of you will get to number 15 idea and then get stuck. It's totally normal. But when it happens, just ask, what problem I've solved that I never thought of as a business? And who has a smaller version of a problem that I have overcome? What do I know about my industry that outsiders would pay to understand? For example, I know how to build a relationship coaching practice. And people who want to get started, they just got the result, they just got married, and they want to get started, will pay me for that expertise. So there's always something, because the world is full of possibilities, and your life is your experience, your expertise, your experiences, the results you've created, your life, your journey can be monetized. So now let's talk about the money catcher system. I'm going to give you this practice that can make you so much money, and it's so simple. It's not really sexy, but it works. So the money catcher, the concept of this is that money flows around you all the time. It's everywhere, literally billions of dollars around me as I'm sitting here on the island of Manhattan. So there are those conversations that never went anywhere. There are people you met they are in your life, but you never followed up with them. So you're going to create a simple document. It could be like a spreadsheet or notes or whatever it is on your phone. And you're just going to look at number 1, person or opportunity. Number 2, potential money that can be made. And 3, status. So, for example, it could be that a person you met, they got interested in what you do. What can you charge them? And what is the status? Have you followed up with them? So it could be that someone direct message you on Instagram and ask you, what is it that you do? They asked about your services. And maybe you responded and they said, okay, great, let me think about it. And the status is that you never followed up with them. But that's money right there. That's an opportunity. You can help this person, and money is right there. And the status is that you got to follow up. Or maybe it's a friend who said, I'm really curious what you do. You met for coffee and you said, yeah, let's, set up time to talk about it. But you never scheduled that actual conversation where you can walk them through. That's an opportunity. Then the former client who worked with you a long time ago, they got the result from you. And they probably know someone else who wants exactly the same result. So have you asked for a referral ever? That's again, that money in your relationship history. The events you go to, the business cards you collected, the good conversations you had with people. Did you follow up with any of these people? Because all of that is money sitting right there, just waiting to be collected. And here's why most people don't do this. Because following up, it feels vulnerable. Well, what if they say no? What if it's going to be awkward? What they think I'm desperate or I'm pushy? So I'm going to reframe this for you. Following up isn't desperate. Following up is professional. Every successful business person follows up. Every salesperson, every consultant. And the only people who don't follow up, those are the people who are not getting paid. They're leaving money on the table. So you can just make a list right now of 5 follow-up messages. Send it to 5 people. 3 people, offer them something of value, free consultations. 3 people might take you up on that if you give them value. If I offer you right now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do for 5 people who DM me a word audit. I'm going to personally do full business audit. I'm going to audit your social media pages, your website, your offer, and I'm going to give you personalized strategy. No strings attached. That is my offer to show you the value with a personalized strategy for moving forward. You get to decide if you want to implement it on your own, or you want us to work together. So you can make that decision at the end of the audit. So, but I'm only offering it to 5 people. So you see what I've just done, right? And by the way, this is real. You can DM me word audit and I'm happy to do this for you. Because what's going to happen when you do it, and now imagine you do this every single day. You make an offer to 5 people and 2 or 3 people take you on that offer. And then you provide value and you get better at that. It's compound effect. You're going to make money. So right now, go through your messages, go through your contacts, go through your emails. Just start small. The last month, write down. People showed up, people who showed any interest, people who ask you questions about what you do, people who said, oh, I have this problem, I need help with that. And it can be as simple as like, hey, remember we talked about this a while back? Is it still something that you're interested in and you're still thinking about it? Just start a conversation. And again, I'm telling you, you will be shocked at how people respond, especially when you come from a place of service where you come from a place of giving value. Okay, so I know I've given you a lot. We talked about different masks. We talked about the different zones. We talked about the money ideas, how to make money, how do the money catcher practice. So here is the most important thing right now is just stop and breathe and know that you don't have to be overwhelmed. You don't have to think, oh, I have to do all of this right now. I should do this. I don't have the time to do this. Everyone is ahead of me. Like, it sounds like it's a lot. What's wrong with me? Like, all of that. If that's happening in your head and kind of a brain is freaking out. So if you're kind of thinking, I'm already working so hard, it's not good enough. I know I should do this, but I should post more, I should engage, but I'm not doing this. Like, just please don't blame yourself. Don't compare yourself to others. Like, oh, others are doing that. They're bad at this. Maybe I'm not meant to do this. All of that. First of all, if that's happening, it's totally normal because you have a human brain. And here's the thing. You are exactly where you're supposed to be right now. So when my brain gets like anxious and goes crazy, I remind myself that I'm exactly where I'm actually meant to be. So you are not behind. You're not behind. You're exactly where you're meant to be. The fact that you're listening or watching this right now is exactly you meant to go. You meant to have this experience. You meant to go through this. Okay? And everything happens for you. You're going to figure it out. You're on the right path. You're here for a reason. And there is one thing you can do to move forward right now. And that's all that matters. So you are exactly where you're meant to be. And you haven't missed anything. Nothing has gone wrong. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're not late. You're also not too early. You're exactly where you're meant to be. You're exactly on time. And the only thing that is required right now is for you to just take a breath, take the next step, and just keep going. That's all that matters. So before I give you, specific action step, right? Here's 2 principles that I want to leave you with. So please really hear them. Number 1 is that every problem that you're facing right now, someone has already solved it. And, I spent years thinking, well, I have to figure it all out myself, reinventing the wheel, making mistakes that other people have already made, wasting time on problems that already have been solved by others. And so here's what I've learned, is that every challenge you're facing, someone else has faced it before. Every question you currently have, someone else has asked and already answered that. every obstacle in your path, there is a map. Someone else already has a pathway and they know how to get to where you want to be. So you don't have to be original. You don't have to be this unique unicorn. There are already existing solutions. You can just follow the steps. You can just, someone else's path. You just use what other people learn. And then principle number 2, you think about online business and you already started, you've chosen the most profitable path out there in the world. Traditional business margin, 2 to 10%. And I know someone who has this warehouse automation, $10 million company, the profit margin, 2%. There are people who work themselves into exhaustion for 2 cents on every dollar. Now, when you're building your business online, when you provide your services online, especially with AI, you can keep $94 on every $100. It's insane. You're building a school, online school, much higher margin than brick and mortar school, than any traditional business. You understand what it means? Is that you literally work from your phone. Right now, all I need is my phone to record this. You can work just a few hours a day when you decide where you work. You get to keep almost everything. Of course, you pay your taxes, you pay whatever your small business expenses, especially now with AI. You don't need to have a big team. And it's an incredible opportunity right now. So if that's something you're thinking about, you're thinking in the right direction. And again, if you're doubting yourself right now because you haven't done it yet, you haven't learned it yet, you never build your online business and you're questioning, I don't know how to do it. Of course you don't. You have never done it. You can learn it. There are other people who have figured it out and they can show you the path. And that is exactly what I do. So for you, okay, what's important, right? Here's what you're going to do right now. And you're just going to do just one simple thing. One thing. So you identify your zone, which you probably already know, and you're going to take just one action. If you're in the red zone, then you're going to make a list of people who might need your services right now. You're going to text just one of them today. That's it. One text. You offer how to help them. If you're in the orange zone, your only one action today. Schedule one experiment. So it's a new offer. Maybe you raise your price. You change your audience and put it on your calendar. Give it a date. So, for example, I'm hosting my intensive, which I will talk about. If you're in the green zone, you identify one thing that should be delegated. Now it's so easy with AI. So notice, I'm not asking you to do something complex. Just delegate one thing. You don't have to create a new course. Something simple, but that one thing that you delegate is going to create time, space, and freedom for your super thinking from your abundant place, which you're in. So take this one simple action based on where you are, based on the zone you are in, and that one action is going to create results. So don't overthink it. You just do this one thing. That's why you're listening to this. It would be a waste of your time if you listen to all of this and you didn't implement what I told you, because I want you to get the result from this. So, and here's the thing. So if you're wondering and doubting, if you're in a place where nothing seems to be working, if you're questioning yourself, you're doubting, am I just wasting my time? Well, here's the thing. Everything has its place and time. And it's going to happen in due season. We might not know exactly when it's going to happen, tomorrow, a month from now, a year from now. But the harvest comes to those who keep planting and nurturing. So keep going. And DM me the word intensive on Instagram at Paulina Solda. So I will send you a link for my free live 3-day intensive where I'm going to dive in with you, work with you specifically on your business, whether it's your business idea or you already have a business and you want to scale it. DM me. And of course, this is what I'm doing. It's a new thing. It's experimenting. So everything I'm doing, I am teaching, and I'm gonna show you exactly how I use AI, exactly how to start from zero, how to make your first money online, and give you a complete step-by-step methodology and a plan so you can simply follow it and get results. Get your first client, make your first money online. And I will see you in the next episode. Remember, the harvest is coming.